Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Dakota, the place where we'll uncover the secrets hidden beyond the quarterly reports. And let's just say our company today is having a bit of a rough time with the stock market gatekeepers. This filing from Genprex is a real wake-up call, showing a company struggling to stay on the big stage, the Nasdaq stock market. So buckle up as we dive into why Genprex is on the brink of being delisted. It's August 19, 2025, and Genprex has just received some not so great news from the Nasdaq. Basically, Nasdaq is saying Genprex doesn't have enough shareholder equity. You know, shareholder equity is kind of like the company's net worth, the total value of the company, if you sold everything and paid off all its debts. Nasdaq has a rule that companies need at least $2.5 million in shareholder equity to stay listed on their capital market. And Genprex's equity as of June 30th was only about $1.4 million. That's a significant shortfall. Plus, they don't meet the other ways to prove they're financially sound, like having a lot of valuable stock or making decent money from their main business operations. This means Genprex is in hot water for two big reasons. But it gets worse. Remember how we've talked about other companies failing to keep their stock price above $1? Well, Genprex is facing that too. Nasdaq has a rule that your stock price needs to stay at $1 or higher. Back in February of 2025, Nasdaq warned Genprex that their stock price had been too low for 30 days straight. Nasdaq gave them 180 days, which is about 6 months, to fix this and get their stock price back up. But they missed that deadline August 6th. And because Genprex doesn't meet Nasdaq's initial listing requirement of having $5 million in shareholder equity, they aren't even eligible for another 6-month extension to fix the stock price issue. This is a double whammy right here. Now, Genprex isn't just throwing in the towel. They've asked for a hearing with the Nasdaq hearings panel. This is like going to court to plead your case. At this hearing, they're going to try to convince the panel to give them more time to fix both the stock price problem and the shareholder equity problem. They'll likely present a plan showing how they intend to turn things around and meet all of Nasdaq's requirements to stay listed. The good news is that asking for this hearing pauses any immediate delisting action. So Genprex isn't kicked off Nasdaq just yet, but here's the crucial part. And it's a beauty spelling out that there's absolutely no guarantee they'll approve Genprex's request. They could still decide to delist the company, and even if they get more time, they have to prove they can actually fix these issues within that new time frame. It's a very uncertain situation for Genprex and its investors. This filing is essentially a public announcement about these serious listing concerns. It's Genprex's way of being transparent with investors and the public about the precarious position they're in with Nasdaq. They've also included a standard warning about forward-looking statements. This basically means that anything they say about their future plans or hopes is just that, hopes and plans. They can't promise these things will actually happen, and they don't have to keep updating you if those plans change or don't work out. It's a legal way of saying don't bet your farm on what we say we'll do. The report is signed by Ryan Confort, their president, Chief Executive Officer and Chief Financial Officer. This tells us that the top leadership is fully aware of and responsible for these critical filing decisions. So what's the story here? Genprex is in a fight for survival on the Nasdaq. They're failing on two key fronts, the stock price and the company's financial health as measured by shareholder equity. They bought themselves some time by requesting a hearing, but the odds are stacked against them. They need to present a rock-solid plan and actually execute it to prove they deserve to stay listed. It's a high-stakes game of catch-up. Now, looking at this filing, Genprex seems to be in a very fragile state. They're not just missing one requirement, they're failing on multiple fronts, and the deadlines have already passed for some of these issues without resolution. The fact that they're pleading their case to a panel suggests the core business metrics are not strong enough to automatically qualify for continued listing. The company direction seems to be focused on survival through regulatory appeals rather than showcasing strong operational or financial growth that would naturally satisfy listing requirements. The biggest risk here is obviously delisting, which could severely impact their stock's liquidity and investor confidence. An opportunity might exist if they can successfully execute a turnaround plan, but based on this filing, that seems like a long shot. Alright, that's our breakdown of Genprex's latest filing. What's your take on these numbers and what do they signal for the company's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord in description. Thanks for watching, see you next time.